Yeezy.com is by far one of the most confusing and weirdest websites I've ever bought from. And after spending thousands of dollars and making way too many orders, I'm going to explain everything you need to know about the new Yeezy brand. So first of all, what is Yeezy.com? What is the website? Well, it's the first independent brand from Kanye West. Meaning, quite simply, after all of the brands that he used to work with dropped him, this new Yeezy brand and Yeezy.com is him, and I assume a pretty small team. So before going over the products, the problems, and whether any of this stuff is actually worth it, let's just start off with the website. The site itself is pretty much as minimal as it could possibly be. There's 4 different toggles at the top of the website for different categories: women's wear, men's wear, footwear, etc. To the left of that, there's a plus sign which literally just zooms in and out. They also don't name any of the pieces that you see on the website. In fact, even just the items themselves are all abbreviated. So for example, the hoodie is HD01 or 02, etc. Now, they recently added a new information tab for each product so you can kind of see exactly what it's made out of. And they also added a little sizing conversion because every item on the website is just literally comes in 1, 2, and 3, and that represents small, medium, and large. So yeah, that is the only sizes that you can actually pick from. They don't have extended sizing or anything like that. The only thing that doesn't apply is to footwear, which you can get a full size run now. Everything on the website costs between $20 and $100, so very affordable. That's something that Ye has been going on about for a very long time, his aspirations of just making products that are very, very affordable. Now, the type of products that you can get from this website is pretty crazy. It's a wide selection. When the website first launched, it was very simple. It was just hoodies and sweats. But now it's evolved into puffer jackets and denim pants and shorts and belts and accessories and footwear and women's wear. The list goes on. But as wide as the product selection is, technically, a lot of these products don't actually exist yet. Which leads us to the problems. Is that based on my experience and what everybody else has kind of experienced, is that it does seem like everything on this website is drop shipped. So unlike most brands where they would have like a huge warehouse full of different inventory for all of these products, Yeezy doesn't seem to have that. Nothing on the website sells out, which would indicate that they have a certain amount of stock. And because of the long shipping times, it seems like every order that is made through the website is made to order. So that order goes straight to the factories, whatever factories they're using, and those factories either ship it straight to the customer or to Yeezy themselves, who then ship it to the customer eventually. Now, while of course this does keep costs down for Yeezy brand, it does pose probably one of the most talked about problems with the website, and that is extended shipping times. So in total, since this website went live last year, I have made 8 orders and I've received 4 of them.
What?
And those 4 orders that I received took months to arrive. We're talking probably on average about 4 to 5 months for each one. Now, for the 4 orders that I haven't received yet, well, that exposes kind of another issue with the website and I guess the whole drop shipping method. Some of you guys will remember one of the products that was featured on the website called the SL03. Now, a lot of people bought these boots, including myself. However, none of us have received them. And at some point during the time where they went live and today, they disappeared from the website completely. Now, if you're one of the people who bought this pair of boots, either you received nothing and also have no update on them, or you received an email saying that they shipped only to realize that once the package arrived and you opened it up, it was the SL01 sent in replacement. So this is technically an example of someone not getting what they paid for. The SL03 doesn't exist, and I don't think they ever plan to make it exist. They are not making that because it's not offered on the website. And because it was $20, I assume nobody's really going to cause a big fuss with customer service or try chase up this order. They're probably just, most of them are probably even just forgot about it. So that is pretty much one of the worst examples of what could happen, because a lot of this stuff is kind of like probably one-off samples that they made and then they took pictures of it, put it on the website, and then told the factories to make it. If anything changes, they decide to, for some reason, take one of the products off and just not manufacture manufacture it, people will not get what they ordered. Now, what I will say is that things are definitely getting better. Recently, it seems like they have been getting on top of a lot of the problems and issues that people have been complaining about. Shipping times have gone down pretty significantly, and people are receiving their products a lot quicker. But before talking about the products themselves, let me just go through a few things about the website and I guess receiving the products in general. One of the things that you should expect if you do make an order from Yeezy is just lack of communication. Some people don't receive any order confirmations or any emails saying that their item has shipped. Oftentimes people will just have packages turn up out of nowhere. It's also important to note that Yeezy does not accept any returns and that all sales are final. I personally haven't ever reached out to Yeezy customer service, so I cannot speak to how good they actually are or how quick they respond. But if you do take a look at the terms of service on the website, it seems pretty simple. Yeezy is not going to be liable for any delays or lost packages. And when your packages do show up, they will look something like this. This is a pair of SL01s that I just never opened up because I wanted to have a visual representation of how your packages will be shipped. It's a white plastic bag covered in tape, and it does look like something you would receive if you ordered, I don't know, something off of Alibaba or TikTok Shop. So that's pretty much everything to do with the website and all of the problems that you may run into if you do make an order. So let's talk about products. I think it's important to start with expectations. I think because of Yeezy brand and all of the stuff that they've done in the past, like Adidas Yeezy shoes, which were great quality, and Yeezy Gap hoodies, which were also great quality, a lot of people do have that expectation of Yeezy brand to then be selling it when they're doing it independently. So naturally, when people order a $20 hoodie through the Yeezy website, they expect the exact same thing. But the reality is it's not going to be quite that level, but it's still pretty good value for what it is. The hoodies, t-shirts, and sweatpants are all made in the USA from 100% cotton. Now, they are very thin and lightweight, but honestly, for $20, I wouldn't complain. Now, these pieces are pretty much as minimal as they possibly could be. You don't really get any tags or anything. In fact, you do get one tag, and that is this little one over here, which basically just says the size, which for this one is a size 1. And then when you flip it over, it says made in the USA. So you don't get any like care labels or, you know, something telling you exactly what this is, but we just have to trust the website that this is 100% cotton. It does feel like it though. Even though it is very thin, it feels like cotton. Again, not bad for the price point. It kind of feels like, I guess the best example I could give, it's Walmart quality, but Yeezy design. For the price, it doesn't feel like a ripoff. Nothing that I've ordered from the website feels like a ripoff. It really does just feel like you get what you pay for. Design-wise, obviously, it's subjective whether you like it or not, but for the most part, it's oversized and boxy silhouettes. I really like the sweatpants. The windbreakers are also pretty decent. It's also important to mention that only some of the products that you see on the website have actually been shipped out to customers at the time of recording. So some other pieces that people have received and talked about. One of the faux leather jackets that retails for $60. A lot of people have been talking about that. Now, it very clearly looks like a faux leather jacket, but visually speaking, it looks pretty decent. People have also shown off the $20 sunglasses. I ordered them too, have not received them. They actually come in a box. They cost $20 and I think they look pretty cool. But then there's footwear, one of the more interesting categories for Yeezy. That's kind of what they're known for. And in terms of what people have received is some of the heels and boots from the women's wear line, the SL01 and SL02, the Yeezy Slides, and the Yeezy Pod Socks. Now, the SL02 is basically the same as the SL01. It's just a slightly different shape, so just expect that if you order it. It's not a new sneaker. It is still a slipper, which they do say on the website as in SL for slipper. It looks a little bit better to me. I never really liked the SL01 just because it looks so plain and almost sock-like. It was kind of comfortable, but just, yeah, not really something for me. The Pod Socks, I mean, I've done a full review on a lot of these different products, and it's an acquired taste, but if you like that barefoot feel, you might like this one. And then there's the YS01 or the Yeezy Slide, and these, in my opinion, are the best value product that Yeezy offers by a decent margin. Now, you can go and check out the full review that I did on these if you want a little bit more like in-depth looks, but essentially what you're getting is the identical version of the Adidas pair. I've done blindfold tests. They are made from the exact same foam, the same texture. They look identical. I got Dylan blindfolded wearing them side by side with the Adidas pair. He could not tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference. So yeah, for $20 versus the Adidas one, which if you wanted to buy them now is $250, that's pretty significant. And right now, this is very obviously the most popular item that Yeezy sells. They offer it in 9 different colors, all of which are very similar to the Adidas ones, so you can pretty much find a 1-for-1. So yeah, if you're interested in them, I definitely recommend these. Now, as for the women's wear stuff, some of the heels and the boots that people have received, obviously I can't speak to them practically. I'm not gonna wear them and try them on, but it seems like people are pretty surprised and happy with what they order, and the products do look exactly like what you saw on the website. A lot of the designs are pretty experimental and stuff that you would only really find from like designer luxury brands. So I think that's where a lot of the value for a lot of these products comes from. That Yeezy design for a very affordable price point. So other than all of those products that I just mentioned, that is the only stuff that people have received as of right now. Now, I think another big question that a lot of people have is sizing, and I don't want to go too deep into the rabbit hole of sizing, but I will put in the overlays for all of the different products that I wear. I'm 5'8", and I'll tell you the product that I'm wearing and what size I went with. But generally speaking, a lot of these things are oversized. So for the sweats and the t-shirts and the hoodies, I actually go with my true to size on the pants. So size 1, that is a small. I'm a 30-inch waist. And for the hoodies, t-shirts, and stuff like that, I usually actually size down because it is so oversized. So I go with a size 1 instead of my usual, which would be a medium. But from what I can tell, if you go with your true to size, that seems to be perfectly fine. So overall, final verdict on the Yeezy website: who should actually be interested in buying, who should avoid it? Well, in short, if you go into it with super high expectations, expecting Yeezy Adidas, Yeezy Gap quality, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if you go into it expecting products from $20 to $100 with very experimental Yeezy-esque designs from a website that clearly feels like it's being built in real time, then most of the stuff honestly feels like a fair price. You of course need to be patient and not need any of the products right now. You have to be okay with waiting multiple weeks, probably months, for it to get to you. And if you're okay with all of those things and all of the issues that I've laid out, then sure, go ahead. But if you're not, then I would probably take a miss, because there are some growing pains to this thing, but I think Yeezy does have a pretty promising future ahead of it, at least based off of what I've seen. But there you have it. That is pretty much everything you need to know about the Yeezy website. Now, what I'd love for you guys to do is just drop your experience down in the comment section. Help us all out. Give us a little bit more insight into what happened with you. If you had any problems or if you had a great experience, let us know. And of course, like always, I'm going to throw another video in the top left-hand corner. Click on it to check it out.